2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm really excited that you've joined us to hear about what's happening at Lambeth Academy. We're really excited about meeting your children in September, and we will talk tonight around what plans we have to make sure your children are safe when they return in September to our school. My name is Leon Wilson, and I'm the exec principal for Lambeth Academy and the Hurlingham Academy. The Hurlingham Academy is in Fulham. Our principal is also online, Miss Amy Welsh, and she will be talking to you a lot today about her vision for Lambeth Academy. Now, Lambeth has come a very long way, and I want to talk to you in great detail about what is so different about Lambeth in regards to other schools within the borough. So just some housekeeping on how things are going to work today. There is a chat function, and in that chat function, you're able to write questions. All the members of the senior leadership team are online, and they will be responding to your questions. But also at the end, we will be able to take some questions, and Miss Welsh, will be answering those questions. So just to tell you a little bit about why Lambeth Academy is different. So first of all, we have great teachers, and the reason we're here is because we believe very strongly that your children deserve to have the best teachers. And we take real care in who we recruit to work in our school. So over the last few years, we've seen the good progress that Lambeth has made, and that's down to the quality of teaching inside the classroom. So it's really important that students have great teachers in front of them. We also believe that Lambeth has really good behavior for learning. Too often in our schools, students are disruptive and students do miss out on their learning. And I'll make no apologies about this today, that Lambeth is a very strict school. And after today, you might think this is not the school for you, and that's okay. But we believe that teachers have to be able to do their jobs very well. And in order to do so, we need excellent behavior for learning. And the last Ofsted report said they didn't see a single pupil being disruptive in our school. And that's a real testament to how far the school has come. So I'm really pleased that your children will be coming into a school where they'll be able to focus and they'll be able to get on with their learning. We also consider Lambeth to be a comprehensive grammar. And a lot of people say, why do you call it a comprehensive grammar? And I tell you why. I believe what's good for students who are in independent school and grammar school are also good for pupils at Lambeth. Why should I have lower expectations for your children? You are trusting us as a senior leadership team by sending your children to us, and we want to make sure they get the best deal. We do not want your child to achieve grades that's not of their potential. If they're due to get a grade 9, then getting a grade 7 isn't good enough. Getting a grade 8 isn't good enough. They will achieve their full potential. So we do push our children. We expect them to do well. So forgive me for having very high expectations, because we want the best for every pupil in our school. And while I talk about the school being strict, it's a very happy and safe school. We've just launched our new house system, so when your children come to us in September, we will be putting them in houses, and the houses are in vertical tutor groups. So we will have students from year 7 all the way to year 13 working together. And there's a real sense of community at Lambeth. When you walk through the school, you get the sense that everybody gets on. We look after each other. We are proud of the community that we serve. So we want students to come into school where they know they're going to be treated well by teachers and each other. Lambeth is one of those schools where it is cool to do well. Too often we have schools where very bright children have to suppress the way they feel because they get bullied. Not in our school. It is okay to be very good at maths. It is okay to be very good at geography, or it's okay to be very good at PE. We celebrate the different talents and gifts within our school. And that's very unique in Lambeth. Enrichment matters to us. Every Wednesday, we have over 35 different clubs. And when you look at what happened in independent sector, in the grammar school and other schools across London, we think this is really important for our children to develop into really good citizens. And it is compulsory for all year sevens at Lambeth to be in a club until 4:30 on a Wednesday. We have other clubs throughout the weeks, but on a Wednesday, every pupil has to be in a club. So that may be debating club, it may be cooking club, it may be drama club, rugby club, football club. There are lots of different clubs on offer for all pupils. And we expect that you will support us by ensuring that your child signs up for these clubs. What's also important to me, manners is really important. We see what's happening in our society and lots of people say, what's going on with our young people? Well, in Lambeth, we expect students to be polite and respectful, and it works both ways, both for teachers and pupils. We expect students to say good morning, sir, or good morning, madam, when they see teachers in the morning or when they enter a classroom. We expect students to hold doors for each other. We expect students to hold doors for their teachers. And when they go through, we expect teachers to say thank you. So we do sweat the small stuff because these things are really important. And you will get to know myself and my senior leadership team a lot more because we do get into the communities. We do go to the shops. We do talk to our neighbors. How are our students doing in the community? Are they respectful? Are they polite? When they go to the shops, do they queue? It's really important for me to know how your children are behaving in the local area. It's also important that in school, students treat each other with respect. And that sense of community is really important because we look after each other. We have lots of clubs, lots of trips that we run at the school. And these are some of the examples. We want our students to learn outside the classroom. So whether that's going to St. Paul's or going to Kew Gardens, and we do this every year, and this is compulsory. This is all paid for by the school. We have our annual ski trip that we run each year. And I'm really excited about year 7 students signing up. Hopefully, we will be able to do that next year. And I know with COVID, things are going to be slightly different, but we'll just wait to see. That we have PGLs for year 7 because we want them to bond. Your children coming to us in September is going to be really important because for a lot of them, they've missed a lot of education. And we need to make sure their well-being is of utmost importance to us. So we will be doing everything to make sure they feel safe, they're happy in school. But we also don't just focus on the students in our school. We have our regular tea dance, which we wanted to launch last year. We didn't get a chance to, but we are really keen to make sure we get all our OAPs in the local areas to come into school so we can get our children to interact, to understand the contribution that the older generation has made. We will serve them sherry and beer. So of course, if you have your parents and they do want to come in, please, as soon as it's safe, we will be inviting them in, and we want to see lots of people coming through because our young people need to understand the contribution of the generation before them. But I'll say to you, careers also is important. So our year 10 students go on work experience every year. Our year 12 students also go on work experience. High quality work experience places we're looking. So as a parent, if you work in the city or if you're a lawyer, we're always looking to ensure that our pupils have people who they can look up to and understand the value of work. So work experience is really, really important to us. And finally, from me, I want to say to you that I know it's a big gamble for a lot of parents sending their children into secondary school. And you're wondering what kind of education they're going to be getting. And I'll say to you, it's your duty to hold myself, the principal, and the senior leadership team to account. And I'll say to you right now, we will get things wrong. But we have to work together to make sure we get the best education for your children. The only way your children are going to be successful at Lambeth Academy is if we work together. And we will be honest. When we get things wrong, we will admit to when we do things incorrectly. But we do so in a professional way. This is an exceptional school. This school will be one of the best in London. And I'm glad you are going to be part of our journey. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to Ms. Welch, who will take you through her vision for Lambeth Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I would like to extend my very warm welcome to you all. My name is Amy Welch and I'm the principal at Lambeth Academy. I'm going to start with a little bit about me. I previously worked at Paddington Academy for 8 years. This is a really high performing school where I learnt an incredible amount. I learnt what it means to strive for beyond outstanding in a school, and also I was shown that amazing things can be achieved even when students face many barriers to success. I joined Lambeth Academy in September 2018 as a vice principal and have been part of the leadership team who, along with the staff, have worked hard to transform the school into the exciting and dynamic place that it is now. This was achieved through adopting a new teaching and learning approach, focusing on a consistent approach to behaviour and high expectations in all that we do. In terms of how I operate and how we will ensure the best for your child, I place great importance on being visible and present in and out of lessons and in the community. My door will always be open to you, students, and also to your parents. I welcome feedback. I want to continuously improve, and we want to continuously improve the school. And this will only be achieved if we work collaboratively, staff, students and parents. We all want the same thing. We all want the best for your child. I'm so proud of all that we've achieved at Lambeth Academy over the last couple of years, as Mr. Wilson has alluded to. Being rated good by Ofsted in February is a testament to the hard work and commitment shown by staff and students so far. I'm equally excited by the potential that our school holds. I know there is still much more that we can go on to achieve, and you as parents will be an integral part of this journey to outstanding. Our vision for Lambeth Academy is a school with a reputation for improving the life chances of young people through both excellent academic achievement and education with character. We want to be a best practice school for teaching and learning, and we believe that we are already well on the way to achieving this with our innovative Lambeth lesson structure, which has been widely shared and praised, both within our Academy Trust and outside of it. We want to expose our students to experiences that shape their character and instill values such as resilience, integrity and self-discipline. We want to offer a world-class enrichment programme. At the heart of our school community is a commitment to excellence and a drive for continuous improvement. This is founded on a belief that, given the right support, all young people can succeed at the highest level. All children only have one shot at an education. We therefore have high aspirations for all of our students and high expectations of them. We don't make any excuses and we break down all barriers for our students to ensure that they achieve. We are part of the United Learning Trust of Schools, and we live by the values contained within their framework for excellence. The best in everyone. We expect the best from everyone all the time. Who can know the limits of any child's potential? So we constantly challenge children to do what they think they can't, to persist, to work hard and to be at their best. We expect the same from every adult, to be determined and resilient and have the highest expectations of themselves and children they work with. Powerful knowledge. We believe it's important to expose young people to the best that has been thought and said, to teach them the things they would not learn outside school, which free them to think and act more powerfully in their lives. Inspiring teaching is what gives access to difficult concepts and the thrill of intellectual discovery. Powerful knowledge is not static, it includes the ability to critique, challenge the status quo, think and learn. Education with character. There is more to a good education than exam passes. We aim to develop character, compassion and service. Young people are expected to contribute to their school and to society, to try things which they think they cannot do, to persist in the face of difficulty, to become resilient in overcoming obstacles, to manage themselves, to work independently on things which challenge them, to work with others and in teams, to be courageous and caring, and to lead. Leadership in every role. Our children are leaders of the future. We expect them to start from year 7, taking advantage of every opportunity to lead and take responsibility for themselves and others. Every adult in the school is a leader. In every word, tone and gesture, they set direction and expectation. We expect every adult to take responsibility, demand the highest standards, and act with integrity to do what is right for your children. Continuous improvement. However good we are, we can be better. We constantly look for improvements and implement them with pace. We steal good ideas with pride and look to make them better. We work together to improve. I'd just like to share with you some quotes that are taken directly from our recent Ofsted report. We are incredibly proud of this. We're also proud of the enrichment opportunities that Mr. Wilson alluded to earlier. So I'll just give you a minute to read this paragraph. And this is further evidence of the great emphasis we place on education with character, along with strong academic outcomes. Our mission statement is that students at Lambeth Academy will be exceptional and have the ambition, drive and opportunity to climb the mountain to the best universities and professions. We want them to have freedom of choice over the direction that their life will take. We are unapologetically ambitious for every child, no matter what their background, prior attainment or needs. Every decision is made with the best interest of the students at heart. High quality teaching and learning is at the centre of our success. We encourage students to take responsibility for their own learning in order to achieve their full potential. And sometimes we have to believe in the students, even when they don't believe in themselves. Now, we talk a lot about being university ready, and this is an option that we want to be open to all of our students, should they wish to attend. We talk a lot about climbing the mountain to university, and even though at the moment we're showing you at the very bottom of the mountain, we know that you've been on a journey so far in primary school, and I'm sure you've accomplished a lot already. But what this talks about is the fact that from the moment you set foot in Lambeth Academy, everything you do, everything the staff do, every way your parents support you is helping you on your journey to climb the mountain to university. We are a school for commitment to progress, excellence in thinking and honourable leadership, and we live these values in everything that we do. As I've mentioned, teaching and learning is at the heart of everything, because we know with exceptional teaching and learning, students make exceptional progress, and that is what we want for your children. We give students a consistent experience in the classroom through strict lesson routines and also really structured delivery in terms of what the teachers are doing. Our teachers will be standing in front of your children, showing them that there is nowhere they would rather be apart from delivering their subject with passion and imparting knowledge to your children. This is supported by our no excuses behaviour systems, which allow disruption-free learning every minute of every lesson. And as Mr. Wilson mentioned, we were particularly proud when Ofsted commented that they did not observe one incident of low-level disruption or disruption of any kind in any of our classrooms over the 2 days that they were visiting us. I'm going to talk in more detail about things that will happen for your child next year. However, all of this information will be in the parent handbook, which will be available to you within the next couple of weeks. But I do think it's pertinent to take a moment to talk about the current situation with the global pandemic, because we take our responsibility to keep your children safe very seriously. Obviously, we know the situation is constantly changing. However, we have made plans for September. We will have our year groups in separate bubbles, and movement around the building will be planned and strictly monitored to avoid mixing of bubbles. Social distancing will be encouraged even within the bubbles. There will be enhanced cleaning routines in all areas of the school, and staff and students will be encouraged to have excellent hand and respiratory hygiene. Hand sanitising points at the gates and in corridors. Students will be encouraged to wash hands more regularly and use tissues to catch it, bin it, kill it to prevent any spread of germs. We'll have a staggered start and end to the day. At this point, I must ask, in line with the guidance, that if any child does test positive or show symptoms, they will stay at home for 7 days. All others in the household will also be isolating for 14 days after that. In order to prevent the spread, we encourage students not to use public transport wherever possible. We ask that if you are dropping off and picking off students at the school gate, that you observe social distancing. We want to reassure you that whilst we will keep children safe, we will have our curriculum remaining broad and ambitious. We also know this has been a terribly challenging time for many families and many children, and a real priority for us in September will be putting support in place for student well-being and mental health. For your children, their first day of school will be Friday the 4th of September. We won't have all year groups back in that day so that we can have a nice start to get your children welcomed into the school in a nice, calm environment. So they will arrive at 8:20 and then they will follow an induction programme. They will have a welcome assembly and they will end the day with a reflection. We offer a broad and balanced and exciting curriculum. The most lesson time is given to the core subjects of English, maths and science. However, we also have lots of creative opportunities in humanities and languages. The Academy Day is broken up into 6 lessons. All days start with a roll call where we check uniform and equipment to make sure the students are set up to be successful right from the start of the day. They have registration at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, and that's a really nice way to start and finish the day with the tutors, probably the member of staff that they will get to know the most over the course of the year. For the first 2 weeks of term, students will have prep for 45 minutes after school until 4 p.m. This is where we're going to instill really good homework and independent learning habits. And these are skills that will help the students right through the course of their education career and also into later life. We've talked a lot about enrichment and education with character, and the Lambeth Promise is a big part of this. And this is something that, current situation permitting, we promise to deliver on for every child that attends Lambeth Academy. A residential trip, a visit to another country, a visit to a Russell Group university, a quality work experience placement, and a professional CV support with a rigorous careers interview. And we believe that all of these are very important experiences for education with character. And the feedback from students is that these experiences are highly valued and that they learn as much from these experiences as they do in the classroom. In terms of uniform, we believe that wearing smart uniform, helps to create the right conditions for learning, enables students to take pride in belonging to our school community, encourages them to take pride in their appearance, and promotes equality. Students are expected to wear full academy uniform on the way to and from the academy. Students who arrive at school without the correct uniform will either be asked to return home to correct their uniform with parental consent, or they will undertake work in the reflection room until the uniform issue is rectified. And I would ask, if any of you are in any doubt about details of our uniform policy, please do get in touch in order to save time and any unnecessary expense. We would ask you not to rely on assurances from students or shops, just in case these are incorrect. This information will all be contained within your parent handbook, but a few important points to note. We do have an academy blazer that all students must wear at all times on site. We have an option of a traditional open neck blouse or a traditional school shirt. We have a Lambeth Academy knee-length skirt or trousers, formal tailored trousers as an option. We ask that shoes are smart. We ask that belts are plain, black and functional with a small buckle. And I'd just like to tell you at this point that we will be purchasing for all new Year 7 students a smart Lambeth Academy branded rucksack. And we hope that our students will wear these with pride. In terms of PE kit, the majority of the items are Lambeth Academy branded, and this is only available from School Uniform Direct. The items are listed below. These will also be available in the parent handbook. Now, just to really try and bring this to life for you, we're going to show you some pictures of what is and isn't acceptable. So again, you're not wasting money on items that are not going to be permitted in September. These pictures will form part of your handbook, so you will be able to refer back to them. So some more examples of acceptable and non-acceptable shoes. Acceptable and non-acceptable outdoor coats. Acceptable and non-acceptable belts. You can see the oversized buckle. We really believe that first impressions are important. For this reason, extreme hairstyles and hair dye is not permitted. All students should have their natural hair colour only. Only black or dark blue hair accessories are allowed. No jewellery is allowed apart from a pair of plain gold or silver stud earrings. Covering up band piercings with a plaster is not allowed. No hoods, hats, caps or bandanas are to be worn anywhere on the academy site. Makeup is not allowed. And in terms of mobile phones, I know you need to be able to contact your children, and this is very important, and therefore they may need to bring a mobile phone to school. However, once they get to the school gate, all mobile phones must be switched off and placed in school bags. If the mobile phone is seen or heard on the school site, it will be confiscated and not returned until a parent comes in to collect the phone. Confiscated mobile phones will not be returned to a student under any circumstances, and the same goes for any headphones that are seen on site. Now, this matters because when we have to have conversations about these things, it takes time away from us having really important conversations about your child's progress. I'm now giving you some examples of earrings that are and are not acceptable. You can see the plain silver and gold stud earrings are allowed. However, pearl earrings, jewel earrings and other earrings are not permitted. We do not allow makeup and nose piercings, and the clear nose plugs are also not allowed. Bracelets, necklaces not acceptable, and also any kind of false or painted nails. We do not allow shaved lines in the head or the eyebrow. We do not allow hair dye, and we do not allow accessories in the hair other than black and navy blue. Now, equipment is really important. We need you to be organised. We need the students to turn up every morning ready to learn with all the equipment they need. Now, this list is also printed in the parent handbook. All of this equipment is also available from the school shop. We are going to purchase a reusable water bottle for all of our new students coming into year 7. We think that's really important to make sure that you're always hydrated and able to learn to the best of your ability, and respecting the environment. We are now no longer using any form of plastic cups. Now, in terms of assessment, Key Stage 3 pupils will have exams at 2 points during the year in January and June, and all pupils will know their expected progress group and whether or not they are on target after each of these assessments. Progress, including a rank order and attitude to learning and homework, will be reported to parents and students after each assessment. Pupils are set in the core subjects of English, Maths and Science and streamed for all other subjects. So they will be in the same class for non-core subjects. Homework is a really important extension of the learning that goes on in school, and teachers work really hard to make sure the homework is a meaningful learning opportunity that either extends the learning that they've been doing in lessons or supports it. Students simply will not reach or exceed their target grades if they are not doing plenty of homework, and we see evidence of this every year. The students that do the most homework achieve the best grades at GCSE and A-level. Hegarty Maths is one of our best online resources, and this is how a large proportion of maths homework will be set, and you will be able to find out more about that in the parent handbook. Also, you will learn about Show My Homework, which is the online platform we use to set homework, and it allows you to be, as parents, to be far more involved in when students are being set homework, what they are being set, and it allows you to really support them. I want to take a moment to talk to you about attendance, because this is something that is incredibly important to me. Our time in school is very precious. When you take out weekends and evenings and holidays, you realise that we spend a very small proportion of our time in school. And that is why it's so important that your child makes every minute count. On the right, you can see a really powerful piece of information which shows very clearly that there is a strong link between attainment at GCSE and school attendance. Now, what's sometimes difficult for parents is understanding what these percentages mean, because if your child came home and told you that they'd achieved 94% in a science test, you'd be very happy with them, and rightly so. However, 94% does not equate to strong attendance. It actually equates to a number of missed learning opportunities. 94% attendance means 10 days absent from school in a school year. That's 2 weeks of learning and 60 lessons. 90% attendance, 120 missed lessons. 85% attendance, 180 lessons, and so on. So hopefully you can see very powerfully why we talk about 100% attendance being so important. Now, we have some guidelines that we live by at Lambeth Academy in terms of attendance. We ask that you always send your child into school, even if they feel unwell. We have first aiders on site that can look after them. Now, only this year I will caveat this with the idea that if your child is showing COVID-19 symptoms, then of course they will need to stay at home to isolate. What we're talking about here is children who have headaches, tummy aches, feel a bit sick. Please send them into school and we will look after them. We will work with you to make sure that they can be in school so that they don't miss any important lesson opportunities. Please book medical, dentist and hospital appointments outside of school times. If an appointment is unavoidable, then please send your child into school before or after their appointment. Holidays in term time are not permitted, and lateness to school will result in a 1-hour detention on the same day. Why do we do this? Because we place such high value on attendance, because we know that the children that have the best attendance are the children that will leave us with the best outcomes. We've talked a little bit about discipline and sanctions and no excuses behaviour policy. However, we also like to reward our students for doing the right thing, for going above and beyond. And there are plenty of opportunities to praise our students through merits, postcards home, the famous Mr. Wilson golden postcard trips, gold, silver and bronze awards, weekly attendance raffles, trips and visits, for example, Thorpe Park, and frequent reward assemblies where we celebrate success, progress, academic success, and where students have demonstrated excellent character. I have mentioned this already, but I will come back to it now because it's a theme that we want to keep talking to you about, which is that your child deserves to learn in a disruption-free environment every single minute of every lesson, and this is so important to us. Therefore, if any children are breaking these rules, we have strong sanctions, really consistent sanctions that will happen, and this discourages any off-task and disruptive behaviour. And that's why when Ofsted came in, they did not see any incidents of this type of behaviour. In terms of the homeschool agreement, we know that pupils achieve and develop character when school and parents work together, and therefore we ask you to support your child's learning by supporting good homework routines, supporting the behaviour system, ensuring your child is in school every day and on time, and attending parent meetings and events. It's been my real pleasure to talk to you this evening, and I will be back at the end to answer any questions that you may have. I'm now going to hand over to Miss O'Regan, who is the Assistant Principal for Key Stage 3, and she's going to talk to you about our summer activity programme and the transition work we would like your students to engage with over the holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Well. Good evening, it's lovely to meet you all. I'm Jessica O'Regan and I have spoken to nearly all of you on the phone or by email this week. I'm one of the assistant principals and I'm overseeing the primary to secondary transition. As part of your child's transition to Lambeth Academy, we have sent a transition pack in the post. This has two objectives. First, to replicate as far as possible the induction day experience because we couldn't invite them in July. And secondly, to keep your child engaged over the summer holidays. The transition pack includes meet the staff pages, key information about the school day, uniform and equipment, as well as the Lambeth Academy challenges, which I'll come back to, the topics your child will learn in the first term, and some reading recommendations. Students do not need to study anything specifically connected to the curriculum over the summer. We know that the best way to get your child ready for secondary school is for them to keep reading. Miss Bennett, our Head of English, has curated some reading suggestions that you'll find therein. I'll now talk about the Lambeth Academy challenges. They are a fun, interactive and engaging way for your child to connect remotely with their new teachers over the summer. We have created secure social media accounts and a new email address so that we can interact with your child as they complete the challenges. Some examples are the MasterChef challenge. We would love to see what they've been cooking. They could take a photo or make a video tutorial and send it to us by email or social media. There's a 5-star challenge. We can't wait to hear their book reviews, and these could be written or recorded. Mr. Okoji, our Head of Science, has signposted the Royal Society of Biology's nature photography competition, and Miss Pears, our dance teacher, has choreographed a dance routine your child could learn, and that's on our YouTube channel. Our PE staff started an Instagram account at the beginning of lockdown where they have been posting fitness challenges all through school closure to keep students fit. It has been hugely popular, with teachers and older pupils alike trying to beat each other's records and having fun while staying active. We would love our new Year 7s to get involved with as many of our Lambeth Academy challenges as possible, so we can get to know a bit about their personality and interests ahead of meeting them in real life. I'll now talk about our summer reading programme, which launches next week. A bit of background is, during school closure, teachers read aloud a 15-minute extract each day, a different book for each year group. Our pupils in years 7 to 11 have been listening and reading along and doing a short quiz afterwards. Our summer reading programme for you, our new Year 7s, has 3 parts. 1. Just like the older students, we will send you the links to read Kensuke's Kingdom along with our teachers for 15 minutes per week and complete a short quiz on what you've read. We look forward to seeing some brilliant scores. I've been on the phone to the primary teachers this week and they've been telling us what strong readers you are. 2. We also invite all new Year 7s to design a book cover combining our love of literacy with our passion for art. We can't wait to see what you create. And 3. Get ready for a book club discussion in your new tutor groups in September. We'll send you some questions to think about so you can bring your ideas on Kensuke's Kingdom to share with your new form group. All the information for our summer reading programme will be sent to parent or carer email addresses and posted on our Twitter and Instagram. Our summer activities programme. This is a fully funded activity programme staffed by Lambeth Academy teachers. Our new Year 7s will learn about the Academy whilst making friends and participating in a range of fun and educational activities. All children will be offered at least 1 week. It runs from 9 until 3, Monday to Friday. Lunch is provided and children should wear comfortable clothes. All families have been contacted by email and by phone to confirm if their child is attending. You will receive confirmation of which week your child is attending on Monday, 13th of July. We really look forward to getting to know your child and helping them feel with certainty that Lambeth Academy is their home from the moment they step foot in the building. It has been a difficult year, but the future for your child with us is bright and we can't wait to meet them all. The MyEd app is the way we communicate with all parents and carers by text and email, and we ask that you download this to facilitate smooth communication between us. I'll now hand back to Miss Welch for any questions.
Thank you very much. I think we now are going to pass over to Mr. Mathershaw, who has been monitoring the chat box and any questions that we have not managed to answer throughout the evening.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for posting the questions. We've had a number of questions through and we've published and answered pretty much all of them. I'm just going to keep the questions, the Q&A function open for another 30-40 seconds, maybe a minute, so that if you've got a question you can get a question in. I've got one question for you, Miss Welch, at the moment. How will students in Year 7 be organised into teaching groups?
Yeah, that's a really excellent question. So we are in contact with primary schools who will be sending over data so that we will be able to make an initial streaming system. However, we also do our own testing in early September just to make sure that the data that we get from primary schools is robust and accurate, and to make sure that we are putting students in absolutely the right classes to make sure that they're going to make the best possible progress as early as possible in September.
Just another one that's come through, and this might be about the summer reading, the summer programme. So Miss O'Regan, it might be best for you to answer this. What time do students come into school? So usually what time do students come into school and what time do they come in for the summer programme?
So usually they'll be in at 8:20 because for their roll call, but the summer programme runs from 9 until 3, Monday to Friday. A flyer should have come through the post with the transition pack, and I'm glad you raised that, because if anybody did not receive the transition pack with their flyer for the summer programme, please do send us an email or call school reception to make sure that you receive a new copy.
A question here about support for students with SEND needs that have not yet been diagnosed. So how do we support students with anxiety, and an undiagnosed SEND need?
Parents and families have been really proactive in filling in the online form that was sent to let us know in advance if they think their child requires extra help with anxiety, friendships, therapy such as counselling, literacy or numeracy, and we've had many responses to that. That will be able to let us make groups according to how many children, for example, might struggle with anxiety. It means we can set up a lunch club for those children. Usually the way that we monitor children who are struggling with what we describe as undiagnosed needs is that we would monitor how they are in lessons, and we would make something called a pen profile, which is a way of communicating to teachers some strategies to work best with that child. We work closely with the inclusion team and the family to make sure that that's really effective and there's a constant stream of communication.
Great, thank you. A question around kind of the food that's offered at Lambeth, and do we kind of cater for students who would need halal food?
Yes, absolutely, we would do that. We would make sure that they would be able to access food that's sold in the canteen.
And just also vegetarian and vegans, do we cater for those students?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. And then just one around the summer school and the logistics of the summer programme. How long will it last? Just a question there. So could a parent send their student for their child for 3 weeks? And do they get rewards for attending and for achieving there?
The number of weeks that your child can attend will depend on the confirmation. So I currently probably have 90% of families have told me what their plans are, but we're just waiting for 1 or 2, and then tomorrow I'll be able to confirm 100% how many weeks we can offer. Because of social distancing, we do have to be careful with numbers so that we don't have too many children in the same space, which is why unfortunately not everybody can come for all 3 weeks, but we can guarantee your child can attend at least 1 week.
A question around trips and how they might be affected by the virus. So what line do we take on ensuring safety while students are on trips during the virus?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So at the moment, the government advice is that trips that are non-residential and that are in the UK can still go ahead. However, we're going to focus on keeping children safe at Lambeth Academy and on site, first of all, and then we will start to build in more enrichment opportunities and trips once it is absolutely safe to do so. We do, as we've all said this evening, we do place great importance on these opportunities and experiences for our children, so we'll make sure that we can still deliver those but in a safe way.
Great, thank you. Thank you for all your questions tonight. And I know that we can't wait to meet your children. We can't wait to meet you in September.
Thank you all and good evening.